Guys, Fragman's been buffed. Let me show you the changes. We're not going to waste any time. Here we go. That's right, guys. Fragman was changed, and these are the changes that came to the Power Ranger of Frag. First of all, Fragman was a little bit weak compared to the other heroes in his arena, so we boosted his damage ability a little bit. And the Justice Gun now has an increased damage by 20%. And then let's get into the Super Ultra Power Mega Beam Blaster. His ultimate ability, no, that is not the real name, but it sounds much more cool than Super Ultra Power Blaster. That's just an average weapon. Now, that increased the damage on that by 20% and decreased the cooldown by 1 second. Now, the real question is, was it enough? Let's get in here and let's start with some tips and tricks for Fragman.
Zombie apocalypse.
So I feel like Fragman is really misunderstood among the Frag community, and I believe there's some simple tips and tricks you can do with this character that's always made him relevant. The buff was just a nice little add-on, but honestly he could have used a little more, but that's okay. We all have a different feel for characters, and that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles. Now, that being said, we should get into tips and tricks for the Fragman. Well, and on a side note, guys, before we do that, I want to tell you about the Power Ranger of Frag. This guy's been around a long time. And honestly, he always had a pretty decent ultimate ability, and his primary fire was always pretty consistent. The damage was a little low, and it's nice to see that they increased that damage a little bit. The ultimate ability, however, was always really good, and I'm not quite sure I understand why the ult was adjusted a little bit, but I do know that I like the way this card feels with the ult in use. Primary fire still needs work, though. So that being said, why don't we roll into, I don't know, tip and trick number 1 for Fragman. That is a very simple one. This is one of the best hit scan characters in Frag. What does that mean? It means the bullets go exactly where you point and they hit instantly. This is one of the few characters that is a true, genuine hit scan, and it is noticeable. That combined with a really good range allows this character to help you train tracking and work on your headshots. This bullet pattern on the weapon will go exactly where you point it, and you will find yourself being hugely successful should you be able to string those massive headshots together. 33 per burst is really, really good with the weapon being what it is, and you can do that at any range because there's no spread on the weapon. Excellent hit scan. Remember that as your tip number 1 for Fragman. Now, let's move into tip number 2. Tip number 2 for Fragman goes like this. The ultimate ability can go through walls. People seem to forget that Fragman's ultimate ability is designed to go through walls and go through multiple opponents. This ult is very good, especially on bridges. This ult can be used to completely shut down a channel, as one control burst from the ultimate ability on this character is enough to kill pretty much every character in Frag. He fires 4 bursts in total, so just remember, hey, if that guy's hiding behind the wall, remind him that Fragman can still get him. I love that ability. I love the fact that his ult goes through walls and doesn't damage towers. That is a very cool little trick for Fragman. Just remember to keep that in the back of your head, guys. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Now, why don't we move into our third and final tip for the Fragmeister, shall we? That tip goes like this. You can chain people together. Basically, you can hit as many people as line up with that ultimate ability. This is, like I said, on bridges, extremely powerful. The fact that I can have a team rush of 4 come down a tunnel and just walk into my Fragman ult and they're all going to get hit is huge. And the damage output is also huge. That makes Fragman on bridges, in my opinion, viable. It's very interesting to note that you can string these kills together like that, and it kind of gives you the ability to slay quickly, assuming you're able to speed up the Fragman ultimate ability. I definitely said that backwards, but you know what? We're going to gloss right over it. But why don't I show you a little bit of a montage of just what Fragman is capable of? Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, we are back. Now let's sum up Fragman for I'm going to give my overall opinions on this buff that he received and if it was honestly enough for this individual character to really become a meta conversation character. Now, where do we want to begin with this? I like the fact they increased the damage on Fragman. I think that was a good thing. I do think that it could actually be increased slightly more. That is really this character's weakness, is the fact that his damage just isn't quite fast enough to truly compete with a lot of the characters that we find in Frag. And that's okay. You have to have characters on both sides of that high B to low A spectrum in order for the characters to have a fresh and playable feel. So I understand that particular perspective. Now, the ultimate ability kind of surprised me. I did not expect the ultimate ability to be changed on this character, as the ult of this character was always very strong. Am I complaining? No. Do I think that it helps this character with meta discussion? Yes, absolutely it does. But is it enough to really make this character meta? No is the answer. I love Fragman. I loved Fragman before the buffs. I've been playing Fragman since he came out. The character still is missing something. Playing these characters, getting a feel for them, that's kind of the way it goes. But overall, this buff is a good step in the right direction. We'll see if it continues to happen with the characters in Frag Pro Shooter. And if you guys are curious what I thought about the other buffs and nerfs that happen, like with Roll Off and Smoker, please check out those videos. Links have popped up in the top right. I would really appreciate the support on those. Also, if you have anything that you would like to add to the Fragman discussion, please let me know in the comments down below, as I would love to hear maybe you guys found something that I have missed. And one last thing, if you guys have art that you would like to send me to post on my community tab, please join the Discord and DM it to me. I would really appreciate it. And everybody stay safe. Thank you for coming, and I will see you legends next time. Bye-bye, everybody.